Okay, we'll begin with the session now, and I will be swapping in between with the presentation and switching off the screen sharing in the meantime. I would request everyone to, if possible, if there's no bandwidth challenge or anything, please switch on your cameras because I love to talk to people and not to names or photos or something that I can't see as in motion. Uh, so, Akansha, is your video on or is it black?
It is on, sir, but I just closed the shutter.
Okay, got it. If it's possible, you can keep it open if you're comfortable. Okay.
Sure,
Hi,
sir.
Neha.
I will do it.
Okay, Neha, that's a beautiful kid.
Anji
Okay,
Rahul, thank you, my daughter.
okay. Hope you're not scaring off her with the sessions that we are taking today and telling her that, see, the real life is so bad.
I'm sorry your voice got cut. I couldn't understand.
I was just saying, I hope you're not making her sit here and
No, no, no.
scaring her by the fact that, okay, see, while you're attending your school, I'm attending this every Saturday
No,
night.
no, no. She's also attending the meeting today.
Okay then. Let's begin with the session. The underlying idea for today's session and the theme that we have for this inspiration series session is what's your problem? By the end of the session that I'm looking for today, what I'm looking at is you asking yourself, what's your problem? And getting an answer to that question. Because every one of us is somehow, I would say, blessed with a lot of problems. Problems that today we are not thinking of solutions for, but are just hounded with those problems surrounding us and constantly pestering us. But if you look at the world and the way the world has formed or to what it is today, when you look at it closely, you'll find that whatever is there around you in its shape that it is today, it is as a result of someone somewhere facing a problem and as a result working on a solution to it and bringing about the world that you know as is today. That's how the world that is today has been made. As of now, it could look a lot theoretical to you, but as we get in, I'll share and discuss with you all a lot of examples, a lot of stories that will make you believe in the fact that most of the problems that are surrounding us are either because we are just sitting on the problems or that we are not thought of how can this problem be a source to make the world a little better. So here we are talking of problems at two scales, not just problems which are completely radically changing the world, something like a WhatsApp. See how the world has changed from where it was before WhatsApp and how it is today, or Facebook, or a Flipkart, or a Amazon. That's revolutionary radical changes that we're talking of, the problems which were solved by these ideas. I'm also talking about problems which you're facing on a day-to-day basis, small situations that you're facing in your daily life, and a little change, a little work on those problems can help you change and make your life comfortable in the process. So we are talking of problems of both the scales, the large scale problems and the minutest of problems that you're facing on a daily basis. The large scale problems will give you an idea for where you want your life to be and how you can build your life over that one problem that you're facing or experiencing, while the smaller ones are the ones which will make your life and the surrounding around you much more comfortable to live in. That's what I'm talking of. The end of today's session will be you asking yourself, what's your problem? So with that, let's move in to what is the world of problems and why today when we look at the world around us, it's filled and surrounded with solutions. Solutions of all kinds, which today you're taking for granted. But the reality is, but for these solutions, the world that you are living in would not have been so comfortable as it is today. So if you look at any solutions journey, so today we are talking on Zoom. Let's take this example. I'm talking to you all sitting in my house, you sitting in your house at the comfort of whatever time that we want to. Was it possible before? Before Zoom came in or before the lockdown or whatever you want to call it. With the lockdown, we face this problem. We face this problem of not being able to go out. We were put in a constraint. We were put in a discomfort of not being able to go out in the world and experience learning, fun, whatever you want to call it. Netflix was born, or Amazon Video or Prime Video, and all those things are thriving because We are not able to go out, and they are solving our problems. Zoom in this meeting is solving our problem of not being able to meet in a physical space. And luckily, because we are not able to meet in a physical space, today I'm talking to someone in Madurai, someone in Delhi, someone in right now in Kuwait, I believe Mohammed Vikruddin sir, someone from another country altogether. Today, Zoom is making it possible. So if you look at every solutions journey, it all begins with a missing puzzle. That missing puzzle can be someone's idea beforehand of there being a problem and trying to solve it, or that can be a pain point that someone is experiencing at this point in time. That missing part is what we are talking of as the problem. The problem which gave birth to something. The problem which gave birth to the future of what we are living in the comfort of today. And someone somewhere thought of a fix of how we could resolve this problem, and then they got the reward. Now, if you look at a car as an example, the first car which was there, the first commercial car was launched way back in early 1900s. At that point in time, why did the car come in? Now, I want to make this session a little interactive so that we all can have fun while we're doing this rather than just making a monotonous single side job. Why did the birth of a car happen? You can just unmute and speak up. Let's not wait for a little louder.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Asta. Yeah, Asta, go ahead.
Because there was a need for it. Someone somewhere needed something that could help him or her to move around quickly. So because someone faced some problem in his day-to-day life, and that made the need to invent something like a car.
Okay. It's often said in a humorous way, the person who invented the first tire or one tire was a fool. The one who got four tires together is the one who became smart. Now I'm asking you the same question. For hundreds of years before the car was invented, were they just living with a problem? Were they just living with something that there is no mechanism to it, or there's no science behind it, that way I can invent or create a car in which it can pull in? They were living on that same problem for years altogether. Right? Yes, no. Yes, no. Can I request everyone to please switch on your videos if it's possible? I wish to make this interactive. Rabia, Lokesh, Nida. Now the reason I'm asking that question is, yeah, go ahead. Am I audible? Khushi, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let me just go ahead with that then. The reason why I'm asking this question is somewhere there was a problem about everything. Now you look at, let's use this car as a base example. Once a car was invented, did you know the first car did not have a reverse gear? As the car came into the picture, there were more cars that came in. And somewhere someone thought, okay, while I'm driving a car, if I by mistake go a little ahead, what do? I would have to entirely turn around the car and come back to the place that I wanted to come. And someone somewhere for years altogether just sat on that problem and thought, what did they think? That we cannot move the car back, there's no reverse gear, there's nothing that can work out in that way. But somewhere someone again thought, if I can use a mechanism to move a car forward, why can't I make a mechanism to move it backward as well? That's where the idea of reverse gear was born. You can chip off every part of the car and think that this didn't exist at a certain point in time, and it came to the reality after someone's thought that there's a problem, or I want to make this a little more convenient. Now look at a rear view. Why would someone want a rear view when there were just a few cars?
Necessity is the mother of invention, as what happened, I believe, right?
That's where we began. But the problem is, there is a necessity, there is a problem for everyone, isn't it? For everyone. But only a few people are thinking from the approach of getting a solution to it. The biggest challenge is we are okay by sitting on the pain point. We are okay to brood over the fact that there's a problem. We are not okay with thinking about the solutions. That's where most of us makes it challenging. Now, example, let's look at an example of a home wherein you have a switchboard as an example. There were switches which didn't have any signs or names on it as an example. And an average normal switch has a life of around 5,000 clicks, on, off, on, off. After that, it dies down or there's a malfunction in it. Now, somewhere, someone might have thought with the example that, okay, if I want to switch on a fan, and if there's no signboard on it that this switch is for this, what used to happen? If you have a switchboard with 15 switches, what will you do to switch on a fan?
We'll try.
Tack, 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 tack.
Yeah.
Then someone thought of it that why are we reducing the life of a switchboard by just someone playing over it rather than actually coming to use? And that's where they invented this idea of having a F over it or a light over it or a L over it or a geyser. As an example, the bigger challenges was with something like a geyser being left on. They got out with the solution that just let it not be a normal switch. Let it come with a red light so that it reminds that there's a danger if this is left on. Now imagine how everything around you in the shape it is, how everything that was there in the past came into reality because someone thought of it as a problem and started working on the solution. That's what we have to do, and that is where the reward lies, in either small scale things or the bigger scale things. Now let me ask you all a simple question. Look at everything that is around you. Now I want you all to ask yourself, why was this thing created? Look at anything around you. I'm not asking you to look at around me. Look at anything that is there around you. Why was it created? What was the pain or what's the problem because of which this thing was invented? I want you all to pick up that one thing if it's possible and just say, this was invented because. Yeah, Bikash, go ahead.
This is invented because it can solve many things, not only communication, but also like we can use it as a thought. We can use
your
it
voice
as
is breaking, Bikash.
My voice is breaking. Okay. Maybe I can switch up the camera. Is it okay now?
That's okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Now we saw your product. Now you can go about talking with what it does, why it was invented.
Okay. So basically, the mobile phone is invented for making the communication between two people. But later on, the enhanced features came into picture because someone thought that why not use the LED light or the flashlight as a torch light, and maybe the it can also be used as a watch, clock, then a recorder, voice recorder, then text message, and
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful example because this is very easy for us to use. Akansha is sharing a beautiful example. A chair was invented because not everyone was comfortable sitting down. So a chair was invented. Neha, go ahead. Speak out.
Thermos was invented to keep liquids hot or cold for a longer period of.
Look how uncomfortable the world would have been if at night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I need hot water and I didn't have it. And I had to go and physically go and boil the water or do something about it. Wonderful. More ideas. Come on. Shreya, Rabia.
Yeah, the specs was invented to make sure that our vision is clear. Specs was just the starting. Now we have lenses, the laser operation and everything. So yeah.
Perfect. Another wonderful example. See how we are. Yeah, go ahead, Asta.
I have these earbuds on, so I believe these were invented so that everyone else in the room is not disturbed by what you are hearing and you are comfortable with your own what you are doing.
I believe this was invented. I am also wearing a earbud and I'm able to stand here and talk to you. Bluetooth was invented because I don't want to be constrained in one place. Look at how technology has changed. Otherwise, I would have to always sit here with the wire stuck and I'm moving here or there and the earpods coming out. Look at how Bluetooth earpods have worked out. Shreya, book to know how many things to gain knowledge. Wonderful.
This have been invented.
Rabia?
Yeah, this have been invented. Sanitizer, the need of the hour.
Okay.
Because the situation turned out to be so, though it might be there since long ago, but we were not having that much of importance of it. As the situation prevails, then we thought of it.
that it is a must.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Rashmi, can you think of anything?
Yeah, everything is in opportunity actually, and if it is not, then you check your thought. Definitely, your quality of thought is not good. It is always thinking negative, so better to think positive. So you.
Okay. That's a wonderful perspective again, that everything that you see, if you can't see something that can be made a little better, I believe that's a problem. Vagisha, wonderful, once again. Vagisha says, I'm sorry, paper. Without paper, we cannot read, write, color, draw. Wonderful invention, I must say, of how for generations altogether, for years altogether, knowledge has been passed on. We weren't in an era of internet or Google in the times when paper was invented. Somewhere someone thought that, okay, if I have to pass on knowledge for years to come, how would I do it? The word of mouth doesn't last for long, but a book, as I think we already had Shreya tell about a book, Vagisha telling a beautiful example of a paper being a source of invention which was there. Rabia again,
Pen
a
is
pen.
mightier than sword.
I was expecting that typical phrase line to come up from a teacher. Obviously, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Again, a pen was invented. Now imagine if you look at any product, need not be limited to in its form today. Pen. While I was young, I used to write with ink pens. In the sense there was a refill. Today, even if I'm talking, I still have a refill. Why do we have a refill? Because the pen, there's a value to the plastic which is there. The ink is what is getting over, not the plastic in itself, right? So why not have a refill? Think of how a refill would have been invented. Earlier, there might have just been a pen and use, and once the ink is over, you can just throw it off. Lokesh, wonderful laptop. It's difficult for a human being to store the data or hard disk in general manually or keep the data in our minds. When we have computing with the data which is available, it's a wonderful example again. So that was some wonderful examples from each one of you all. And why I asked each one of you to look at your surroundings is we are all surrounded by inventions that were driven by someone somewhere who thought of it as a problem. For years, things which were not possible were thought to be made possible by someone who thought, let me work on this. Let me see what I can do about it. Some things could have been limited because of the technical constraint of the resources and the environment. But most of the things came up when someone somewhere thought, this is how it is being done and I have to change this. And that's where the world turned around. And that's where your reality is made possible because someone somewhere thought, I don't want to sit on this problem. I don't want to feel this uncomfortable feeling that I have while I'm doing something. So the next question that I want to ask you all is, look at your own surrounding. Look at your own surrounding. Now that you have looked at the world around you, let's talk. These are the things which are around you. Let's look at the bigger picture. Now look at any product or service or an idea. Today, let me give you an example. WhatsApp is there. Look at where or why WhatsApp was born. Can anyone think of it? Why WhatsApp was born? What made it inevitable and in its shape today it is? Yeah. I'm waiting.
Can I speak, Rahul?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm waiting for anyone. Anyone can speak.
So my opinion is that we used to use text messages earlier before WhatsApp. So
Yeah.
it was having a limited features like you can send a voice messages very easily, and very good chatting you can do on a voice messages. Even you can share files, images. So that sharing kind of feeling is coming here, and that easiness is something which provided by WhatsApp is something which was missing before WhatsApp. Video calling, normal calling. If you're
Yeah, we have gone. I'm just talking of when it was born, not in its shape today. I'm just talking when it was born. I still remember I used to do a recharge for specifically having a few messages in my mobile operator. Like I had an idea connection. I did a recharge so that I get 100 messages as a package. And every time I used to press a message, I still remember that when I used to come to a point where it is beyond that 140 letters and going to the next message, I used to think, let me see where I can cut off a word or two so that it comes back to that one single message and I can still use it. The reason is there was a cost involved. There was a certain format in which messages were sent. So what WhatsApp did, that was already done by many other people, not that it was not thought of, but the convenience and the way it was done by WhatsApp is something which was not thought of. The world changed when the normal messaging, which happened through the mobile operator messages that we talk of, changed to a different world altogether. And that's where that idea was born. And you have seen the complete radical shift in where we have headed to. I can still see a lot of things which can come up and the way it is growing. But what I'm telling is the underlying theme was the shift from the standard messaging which happened through the mobile operator messages to what it did as a WhatsApp by making it convenient and not limited to every message being counted as a cost. Now, what other service do you think has touched your life? I want answers from you all. Which service or which product has made your life easier?
I think Facebook has made, changed our life in a way that we got connected to our friends, school friends, anybody who we thought we had lost touch with after marriage and everything. We got in touch with so many people, although it has its pros and cons, but I think Facebook plays a very big role in connecting with people and relatives.
Indeed. Wonderful example, Neha. More examples. Vikash, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Zoom is the best example. It initiated the revolution, this online sharing platform, wherein actually even though we are apart, we can still share our ideas. We can also attend some learning classes. So Zoom is definitely a game changer in this field.
Wonderful. Just to give you an example, the company Zoom in itself was there much before the lockdown, but it gained its prominence purely because we all were made to sit at home, and we needed to have something which was easy and comfortable and customer friendly, or having that user friendliness in its usage, and that's where Zoom has clicked. That's where it has gone wonderfully to every home and talked about when the usage of with regard to the classes and the learning and all those things. We have made it much more comfortable. Any other example?
I want to say something.
Others? Yeah, go ahead,
Yes,
Asta.
I would like to talk about YouTube. So I remember there was a time when I was very young. I don't remember I don't know whether YouTube was actually there or I didn't know about it. But there was a time when I wanted to bake a cake and I didn't know how to bake a cake. So with this, I want to say that with the help of YouTube, you can learn anything and everything, that too for free. You want to learn cooking a new dish, you want to learn a new skill, you want to learn any new instrument, you want to play any new instrument, you can learn anything and everything sitting in the comfort of your home. So I believe YouTube is the best invention of this time. Thank you.
And Google is ultimate. Whatever you want, you will get everything.
Yeah.
You're muted, Rahul. We cannot hear you. You're muted.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just saying that on a Teacher's Day, and I believe the world over, we have more prayers for Google and what it has offered than many other teachers of what they've offered in our entire life. That's one thing, the way it has radicalized our world. Thanks to Google, I must say. It has changed the world. Yeah, Rabia, go ahead.
Actually, I remember that those were the days when we first started with the pages, if you remember. Pages where we are supposed to send only a message, and after just reading the message, we were supposed to check it out who the person is, and then we need to connect to the operator and then take the number, and then after we need to call them back and reply. And it died out very soon because it was little people were feeling uncomfortable because it was just like one-sided. And then a step ahead, I can say the WhatsApp, which came up, and then we could able to connect directly without any hesitation, and not only just a call, but a video call and chatting, everything you can say. So that I thought of because pager came, and then after then came this one.
Wonderful example, Rabia, from where you have taken the story from pager to what
Yes.
it is today. Wonderful transformation, I must say.
And
Yeah.
regarding the
So, any
services, I would like to mention Amazon, that how it has helped in shopping from home. And it's basically, this is what I call a game changer, when you get everything sitting at home and you don't have to step out. So Swiggy and all the food services also, that you get everything today at the comfort of your home and you don't have to go out. So I think these are very major.
there's a reason why Amazon today is one of the world's highest market cap companies. It's one of the world's most richest, and the person who owns or has a lot of what do we say, ownership, a major ownership in the Amazon company. Jeff Bezos is one of the world's richest person. There's a reason to it, because the world has been transformed with that one idea sitting in your homes. They have brought about the entire world to your pockets and to your world. That's what the convenience is. The worst part is for the husbands like me, where I used to think that okay, only a Sunday is there where my purse will get empty. Today I don't know when my purse is getting empty and from where. And suddenly I see something in my hand, and there we go, the money goes out. Just kidding on that. So the idea is, look at how every pain point which was there, when you look back at it, that's where there was a problem, there was a pain, there was a kind of a some unease which was tried to be resolved. Like Amazon, you said there was unease that I don't want to go out and stand somewhere, window shop, or wait and roam around for something for so long, and roam around the entire world for wanting so many things. Now it has come back to just browsing on the phone whatever I need, and I can get whatever I want. So that's how the world has been made simpler. Rohan S, you raised your hand.
Yeah, so what I want to say is thanks to this technology, we are all getting connected, and most importantly, we are all connecting from different places, which was not possible in physical Toastmaster club. So that's the beauty of technology.
Just
Okay,
yeah.
that's wonderful example
Can
again.
I say,
Online.
something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead,
Means,
Rashmi.
in this conclusion means everything is in this world, everything belongs will end, and everything is changeable, nothing is permanent. And if we are finding a permanent solution, then we'll stuck somewhere. So according to situation, we have to change. So this we should learn, from all this Google, YouTube, Amazon, Zoom, WhatsApp. So all technology, everything drastically change every day, day to day. Technology change. So everything is changeable. Nothing is permanent in this life. Hello.
You're on mute, sir.
Yeah, indeed. One major difference that has happened is that everything to a large extent has been made possible because of technology. And that's where the world is changing. And I think, 1 second, please. 1 second. No, no. Take him outside. Normal TV do ya jo bhi hai. I'm sorry, there was some technical glitch from my end. Yeah, so that brings me to the question: were all these solutions that we are talking of, were these a one-time invention? Were these a one-time invention?
No.
Was just WhatsApp what it was when it was just launched? What it was in 2008 when it was launched, and what it is today? Look at how it has evolved. Look at how Amazon, the way it was, what it was covering, the products, the kind of areas that it was trying to tap in and reach. Look at how it was at when it began. 94, 95 is the year I believe Amazon has started. Or look at Uber, or look at Swiggy. Look at how they were when they started, or maybe 2 years back, in the shape and the format that they were in. And now look at where they are. The reason why ideas are able to survive through from the initial spurt is purely because of the fact that they evolve constantly. They are not spur of a one-time solutions. The reason Orkut, if the people who are there know of a company called as Orkut, the reason Orkut died down and Facebook evolved to something what it is today is because it held on to what it was offering. It just offered whatever it was doing without the idea of innovation and growth. It just stood there, and how it died down because of the fact that it did not evolve. In the same time, when Orkut was good and flourishing, there's another company called as Facebook that came in, and it changed the landscape of the social media altogether. And the way we are living in today is because of how Facebook also would have died down had it not innovated, had it not thought of what next. The question that each one of these ideas and products and services that you're talking of have constantly been asking, what next? How many of you all have mobile apps from Play Store or whatever apps in your mobiles? You all have apps in your mobiles,
Yes.
right? If you go to Play Store at this point in time, or if you, I'm not sure, the iPhone store which is there in Android, if you go to Play Store at this point in time and look for the updates which are there for every app, you will see every second day, every app has an updated version of what they're offering. And updates come because they have seen either a bug, which was a problem, which was a security which they need to cover up, or you are talking of some innovative idea which has come up next, which they are offering to their clients. If they were just left off like that without any changes, WhatsApp, to my knowledge, would have had thousands of updates from the year 2008 to what it is today. And every time they think of something being better, look at that journey. Earlier, it was just about sending a message. You didn't know whom it is going, what is happening, how it is happening. But it began with the journey of a single tick. It started showing a clock symbol saying that the message didn't go in from your end. Then it went on to a journey of double tick, where you were assured that the message has reached the other person's inbox. I've had situation where my wife has sent me a message, I've received the message, and I used to easily make an excuse that I didn't see the message. What did Facebook come up? What did WhatsApp come up with then?
Yeah,
New
you
lines.
can
Blue
easily
ticks.
make out.
Blue ticks. So I was lost of another one excuse which I could potentially have used, but that excuse was taken off by WhatsApp. Then luckily, I'm not sure when it is coming up with this technology, but last I know of an update from WhatsApp is it reads last seen at. That's a message which it reads. I'm not sure, and I'm sure that someone somewhere is working on this technology of adding something that seen, last seen, not at, last seen with. And that's where I'm sure there'll be a lot of problems across the world. The world will die down because if it comes out with that technology of last seen with, we are not sure where it's going to stop and how many houses are going to be destroyed because of that feature. I'll request that nobody comes up with this idea. Last seen at was still okay. My wife today, when I look at, or when I'm online, when I'm on WhatsApp, she says that at night 2 o'clock you're still online. You were last seen at last 2 o'clock at the night, and she bombards me. But I'm happy if it's only till last seen at. I'll not be happy if it becomes last seen with. So all I wish to say is that every idea which you're talking of is a continuous evolution. It doesn't stop with the problem or the first solution. It goes on continuing, and that's a mindset. That's often called as the entrepreneur's mindset, where you look at every problem, every little thing that you can upgrade or little thing that you can resolve and make it a little more convenient. Like see, WhatsApp, it's a little more convenient than it was what it was in the past. So that's what the idea is, building that entrepreneur mindset. So with that, let me move on to the next thought process. The baseline here is that if you look at anything and everything, it all began with the problem. The problem is the source of where we are in the world today. So make sure you don't crib about your problems. You feel thankful that you're feeling uncomfortable, you're feeling discomfort about something that is surrounding you, and you are being blessed with that opportunity to experience that problem, because unless you experience that problem, where will you come up with a solution then? The problem is if you're not knowing what you're uncomfortable, what you're discomfortable about, you will not come up with solutions. And because you are sinking in problems, you are surrounded with problems, you constantly think of what can I do to ease my pain. It could be at a smaller scale, it could be at a bigger scale. Uma ma'am today has begun with her classes as an example because she found a problem. She cannot go out, nobody can come to her. She began with her sessions online, and that's where she found a solution to the problem that she's facing with regard to not having to do what she loves and continuing with the world the things that she used to love. And that's where, like as an example, Lokesh is here. There are many from Toastmasters who are here. Had the world stopped at just looking or staring at the problem that we cannot meet, the doors are locked, we cannot do anything, we cannot be meeting. I'm not sure how we'll be doing online meetings. We have never been trained for it. We saw the world. We saw the problem. We didn't stick at the problem. We moved. We moved on. We learned. The important thing is you have to accept the problems. You have to start believing that whatever problems come, I often say it in Hindi, problems अच्छे हैं. They get us out of the comfort zone. They get us out of the pain points and make us recognize that I am discomfortable here. And what can I do to solve this? And that is where our minds start thinking. Before March this year, I never imagined that I'm comfortable sitting in an online, looking at a camera and talking to you all. But a problem came. Thanks to the problem, I'm talking to you all today. Sitting in the comfort of my house. I'm not sure how I would have met Rashmi in London or someone like Mohammed in Kuwait.
Yes.
I'm not sure how I would have met them ever in my life. But thanks to the problem. Problem came, I moved out of my discomfort zone of having to meet only face to face, talking only eye to eye. I'm able to talk to you all eye to eye today. So that's where look at the things that are surrounding you. You will feel the pain of problem only if you are sitting on the problem and not thinking of how you can resolve it. But for that idea that मेरी जिंदगी में problems ही भरे पड़े हैं, but for that idea, there's nothing that is stopping you. Because every time a problem comes, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to evolve. You have to learn. And that's where the process of evolution is. You move on to the next level of your life only when you are able to think of that problem as a step, as an excuse. Use the problem as an excuse to grow. That's where you'll find the answers. So all I wish to say is here, you have to shift your focus from being the problem seeker to being a solution seeker. Look at the problems, feel good, feel thankful, and start working on what is to be done to solve this problem. Once your focus is there on solving problems, you will find the world to be a much better place, and then you will thank this problem. Yesterday was Gandhi Jayanti. Somewhere a long time ago, he was thrown out of a train. Problem? Nah, it's okay. Nothing will happen. Let me continue my law. And he went on to think that not as a problem. He started to work on it. And that's where the world changed. The world's map changed because one person didn't want to sit on the problem of racism. He didn't want to sit there under the control or under the thought process of someone else. He thought and got back to working on the solution, and the world map was changed. So all we are saying is start relooking in the way your problems are there. Somewhere few years later, you will be thankful that you came across this problem and the world changed. Your world changed, more important than anything else. Your world changed because that problem occurred. But now the important question is there just a mere science of observation that someone feels uncomfortable or someone is able to get an idea to solving problems, or is there a science behind it? Now I'm coming towards the end of the session. Is there a science behind solving problems, or is it merely luck or mere detailed observation that people have when they're looking at problems? I would like to ask Pragya to add something here. Pragya.
Hello everyone. So sorry, today have been a silent spectator as of now, and my video I won't be able to switch on. But as I've been listening to the session, and I think all of you have got so many ideas as to how problems have created solutions for the world. But I have a small question for you. Think about it and try to answer it. How many times in your own life you have faced situations where maybe at a point of time you just felt that, okay, fine, there is no solution to it. Let me just give it up. It's impossible. And when you thought about it maybe a day after, or maybe a night after, or after 3-4 days, and you suddenly come up with a thing that, oh, I didn't even know it was so easy. Why couldn't I think it then? right? I think this is one situation which everybody gets at different parts in their life. Now, do you understand why this thing happens? Can anybody answer me why this thing happens? Why are we able to find a solution after maybe a day or two or sometime later? Any idea?
First, when
It all, yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, could you tell me?
Yeah, Rabia.
Yeah, when we face a problem, we will be so engrossed and we just feel that we are defeated, we are under pressure, means how are we going to come out? That problem suppress us so badly, we can say, at that point of time, that we fail to understand. Later we are going to be like viewing it in the other perspective and feeling ourselves that, oh, it was so easy at that time, but we could not get it done. Because the situation prevails around us in such a way that we feel ourselves in a whirlpool. That is the
so okay. Let me put Rabia's point with my perspective to it, and think about it whether that's something that works for you too. When a problem comes, aren't we somehow tuned to take problems as problems? Okay, just go a little back. Maybe for Shreya, it is not too back, but for Lokesh and for us, it will be a little more back according to us where we have reached. When we were kids, we have always heard our parents saying, don't do that, otherwise you will fall into a problem. Don't do that, otherwise you will have problems with this. Right? We were brought with that kind of a mindset where it was made as an environment as to problems are tough, problems are bad, problems are difficult, and it is something you should not get into. So to some extent, rather than the problem being the real issue, it is the mindset, the fear, or the kind of anxieties that are created about having any problem in your life. Whereas we all know that there is not even a single day when we will not face any problem. They can be as trivial as maybe going in a traffic and getting stuck in that traffic, or they can be as big as having a breakup. Like, I'm not sure about boys, maybe for them it's a fun time, but yes, it can be as big as a breakup too. Or maybe not getting a job, failing in your life, not getting what you wanted. All these are taken as problems. Now let's try and understand as to how we can solve this whole issue, because problem is a problem, right? What we need to do to understand the first thing is this problem really a big problem for me? Is it something that people have already faced? They must have got some solution to it, right? They must have come out for it. So a problem which is a problem for Shreya right now might not be a problem for Rashmi or maybe Umaji, because they have passed that phase. So what we need to understand is that every problem comes in a phased manner. So there are different solutions. What do we do now? I am in the phase. How do I solve it? Right? That's the first question that comes when we have any problem. Let's go to the solution of how to do it. Firstly, take some time. The kind of anxiety, hurry, and dependence that we create on that problem altogether goes so big that our mind gets shut. We are not able to think. We are not even at times able to think sane, I would say. Right? Now comes the toughest part. How do I give that break of time? Because our mindset is such that we want to solve whatever problem comes our way right then and there. I don't want any problem in my life. I'm frustrated. Is the first response that we get. Right? I think this is something which everybody would agree to. As soon as you are into problems, the first word, okay, tell me the first word that you say when you're stuck in the problem. Tell me the first word that you use.
Oh God.
Why only me?
Yeah, it's why me.
Right. Right. So these are the kind of questions. Okay, if you go to teenagers, they are much more interesting words that come up, but I would not go into that. I think all of us know those words too, but there are kids over here, so it's censored as of now. The first problem that is occurring here is not the main issue that is happening, but the response that we are giving to our mind at that point of time. Rather than just thinking of why me, try to think, okay, let it be. I'll get back to this later. Whenever we have a fight with somebody, we want to sort that fight right then and there. You can just finish it off right now. Just tell me whatever you want to tell and then just finish it off. Trust me, this is something which happens with me and Rahul too. We had it last night. I just told him, whatever you want to speak, speak right now. And a simple thing sorted it out. It was not that simple, I would say, but we just shut our doors. We went to 2 different rooms, shut our doors. We did not speak a word. Not that the problem was sorted, but you get that same time. You take out that anger, frustration, anxiety, whatever emotion you're going through. You take that out and then you think about the problem as to what is happening around me. And try this thing sometimes with yourself. Whenever you're in a very bad situation, you just want to end everything up, or maybe you're just so frustrated that how can somebody do this to me? Go to your room, shut your door hard. Doesn't matter if somebody is outside. They will understand. They will not trouble you. Shut that door hard and just sit back in your room. Take out your anger, frustration, whatever you want to, inside that room. What this thing will do is, rather than taking it out on somebody else, rather than taking it out on yourself, or maybe just calling somebody up and creating an even bigger mess, you will be giving yourself that time to take that emotion out. Right? Then you will be able to think in a much more sane manner as to what the real problem was. Now, this comes to emotional problems. But what about practical problems coming in your life? You don't have a job, you've had a breakup, you don't like what you're doing, you're not able to succeed in your life. These are common issues, right? And non-emotional issues. These are more practical issues. How do we solve these? You can say the bigger problems of life, not getting good grades, or maybe not having a good relationship with somebody. These are all practical problems that we come across. So how do we solve these? This will not solve just by shutting the door. You will not get a job next morning. You open the door and Bill Gates standing in front of you with your appointment letter, right? The main solution for these kind of problems, any practical problems, is go step by step. If you don't have a job right now, what can I do to get one? What are the qualifications that are missing? Is there some particular reason that I am not getting it? I am lagging behind something, or what? If it comes to good grade, where am I lagging in my preparation? If it comes to good relationship, how do I solve that problem? By talking, by putting my point across, or by just understanding what are the requirements or what are the things which we both are looking for each other. Right? So in this way, you're actually doing a reverse process to understanding rather than the problem to the solution. You are trying to just understand as to how I can sort out the mindset that I have towards that problem. You're going in a reverse manner. Problems will be there. You're just changing your mindset to understand whether it's a problem or not. Right? So these are a few practical points which we can keep in mind when we have to solve any problem. Once the theory has been told by me to you, but does this really happen? Even after listening to all this, will you be able to do it? No, I would say. You know why? Because this is something which you are just listening right now. This particular practice needs practice every day, every single moment. Every time you get that anger, even if once you are giving up to that problem, the fear, the anxieties of that are created by that problem, it's like going 2 steps ahead and 1 step back. Right? So maybe from today, try to do one thing. Whenever you get a problem, sit quiet, have a nice cup of tea, water, beer, whatever you like, right? And then give those 5 minutes of time. 5 minutes of time. and think. The problem is there. I might not be able to do anything about it right now, but let me be calm and then think for a solution. Right? Try to put this in practice. It will be difficult initially because by nature we will respond, we will react. We will not respond. We will just react to things. Try to take that problem as something normal which has come up into your life. Take those 5 minutes break and then find a solution. As my son beautifully said this thing, when I was in a problem, which I keep getting into, but he told me a very beautiful solution. Mama, if you're in a problem, it's quite simple. Pause, relax, and play. These 3 words actually have changed my life towards, and my take towards every problem. I try this, I apply this. Pause, relax, and play. Right? So pause when you have got a problem. Relax, calm down your anxieties and fears or whatever emotion you have towards that problem. And then play your steps as you move forward. Try to apply these 3 things. If it comes from a 5-year-old, I'm sure it's going to work for everybody because they are best in dealing their problems more than what we are. So I hope this thing has added something to you, and I will wait for all of your responses as to whether this pause, relax, and play works for you or not. Over to you, Rahul.
Yeah, coming back on the ideas where we are talking of not the relationships or the personal challenges that we're facing, but talking about ideas which can change the world with regard to the work that you do. There's a wonderful theme of something called as design thinking. Like I was saying, is it just a mere observation? Is it mere luck that someone comes up with an idea that ting, I have a solution? Does it happen that way? Or is there any science that we can work around while talking about solving problems which are in the real world? We're not talking of relationships, or we are not talking of the same principles could be applied to the other personal problems as well. But talking of the problems in the real world, this is one philosophy that has moved the world over with regard to the help it does in bringing about a rational thought process in solving problems. The process is called design thinking, and I'm just sharing, this is a very vast subject. I'm just sharing with you the underlying principles which drive in solving the problems in the world in a structured way. First and foremost, what we need is any problem, we need to understand what is the human element of it. We need to understand what is it that's being touched upon, what is it that's hurting, where is it that the inconvenience is there. So WhatsApp looks at something, we look at the problems that we are facing in our job, in the world that we are in. We all face certain problem. We need to understand there's a human touch to it, there's a human element of pain in the problem. We need to understand and note that down. And then comes the most important part, the step 2, which is often called as collaboration. How many of you know how was an air conditioner invented? Can anybody take a guess? How was an air conditioner invented? Akansha, go ahead.
Probably in a hot area where only the usage of fan wasn't sufficient.
Okay, anything else? Anyone else?
Get more.
Anyone else? Any idea why and how was the air conditioner? Okay, no. Okay, anything else? Okay, just let me reveal it. So we're already short of time, so let me reveal it. Air conditioner was, the idea of air conditioner was invented in a paper printing, newspaper printing place where, because of climate, because of the humidity in the climate, they were not able to dry the papers. After printing, the papers need to be dried so that it's ready to be distributed. And that's where they came up with this idea that the outside world we cannot control, the outside climate we cannot control, but in the 4 walls of a room, can we change the dynamics of temperature, humidity, or mix so that the newspapers which we're printing can be dried up much faster? They were facing this problem because in the winters or in the rainy times, there was humidity. And that's where this idea was born. And look at where the idea was born, for the problem which it was born, and how it has been revolutionized the world. So one problem, when you talk of it, it's not limited to that one field alone. You have to always understand that there are opportunities that are there in completely different fields, completely different worlds. Now, as an example, if I'm facing a problem, the kind of solution that my kid will be giving is something different, which I may not be thinking. Because what I am thinking, if I am having the problem, my mind rationally won't have all the solutions to it. If it were, then I would not have considered that as a problem at all. And that's where we need to go beyond the limitations of our mind to know and seek answers from people who are beyond us in different diverse places. You're talking of men having a certain problem can talk to women because they think in a different way altogether. Someone who's in an engineering field can talk to an artist. That's where he can get ideas where something which can be cross-leveraged in different world altogether. Somewhere someone might already be having a solution to something which was thought of in a different world, different area, application for different area altogether. But if you think of it in our world, it could be very much applicable. For that, the underlying theme that you need to understand is to solve problems, we need to collaborate with diverse people who will bring in different ideology, different thought process, different ideas which they have experienced, which we may not have experienced, and so we don't have a solution to it. And moving on to the next point, ideation. When we began with this laptop or Wi-Fi or something, somewhere someone might have told, okay, now I have a wired connection to this laptop. How do I solve that? I cannot move the laptop here and there. Someone somewhere might have told, okay, take off the wire, we'll get somehow the connection inside this. At that point in time, that idea might have been rubbished. क्या मजाक कर रहे थे? वायर के बगैर आता क्या लैपटॉप में कहां से आता? कनेक्शन कहां से आता? वायरलेस चार्जर्स. अरे वायर नहीं तो पावर कहां से घुसेगा अंदर? The present problems which are there don't have the solutions in our minds at this point in time. Because our reality is what we are seeing, but the solutions are what we can think of. And that is what needs to change. If you can think of something, today we are going to planet Mars, we are going to the space, we are working on so many things which were not even imagined while we were 2 years young or 10 years young or 20 years back. 25, 30 years back, when there was a mobile phone which was first invented and launched, nobody thought of the way mobile phones are as of today, except for a few. And the ones who thought of the possibility and the revolution that it was creating have become the Apple, Samsung, whatever you want to name them. The rest were laughing at that idea that how will or why will a mobile be required? They were laughing at that idea, how will a mobile which is not connected to anything, because they saw only the real world as a landline phone connected with a wire. They laughed at this idea that how will a mobile phone which does not have any connection from anywhere get anything? How can I carry something and have a network in it? And that's where someone thought, if I'm getting this idea, there's something called as radio waves, there's something called as a connection, I can still use that. And someone thought of it as a possible solution, worked on it. So my point is, when you come on to ideation of possibilities of any problem that you're facing, any possibilities of solutions, don't rubbish off any idea that can come to your mind, because you never know which one idea that you're thinking of, or anyone in your team or anyone that you're surrounded with, that one idea can become a reality and can become a future. That's where we should never rubbish any idea. And next comes the experimentation and iteration past. You look at a lot of companies, you look at a lot of surroundings. It's all about experimenting. It's all about doing things. It's all about trying things. You see so many apps, so many things which have a beta version. They keep testing the market. They keep trying around here and there, here and there. The reason that is done is to understand whether the ideas that you have got as a list, that okay, these are the possible ideas that I can think of. Not that you can go into a business plan with one idea at a time. You will have 10 different plans, you will have 10 different ideas. You will need to test, is it really solving the problem that I began with? Is it viable? Is it financially viable to act upon this at this point in time? That is where we get an idea of how we need to experiment, keep trying and testing and coming back to the prototype, coming back to the thought whether it is solving or not. And once you do a lot of experimentation, a lot of iterations, that's when you come to a solution. And the underlying theme of design thinking is it has a bias towards action. A thought or a discussion hypothetically will not lead anywhere, will not lead you to solutions, will not bring about the reality to the world. The underlying principle in design thinking is it has to have a bias towards action. Once you have to keep acting, once you have to bring the idea to fruition, bring it to reality, works, doesn't work, rework on it, see why is it not solving the problem, or how is it that it can solve the problem better. It all boils down to working on the problem, working on the solution constantly, not just thinking of it in the mind, but thinking of it in the reality and keep working on it. Khushi, go ahead.
Yeah, like when it comes to bringing into action, like when usually when you talk about a problem and a solution, it's often an entrepreneur who finds a problem and then comes up with a solution. We came across many examples in everything, but then in today's world, what's happening is only the top 5% or 10% startups actually be successful. The remaining 90%, they even if they bring their plan into action, it doesn't really work. So what do you think could be a reason, and how to work on it?
Two answers there. One, persistence. The underlying challenge that a lot of companies are facing today is that when they begin their process of solutions or offering a solution to a problem, whatever be the problem, they are looking at results, they are looking at the money, they are looking at valuations. You have rightly said, only 10% of the companies, the startups which are there, are surviving till the end of 5 years. Much before that, they have got into the tussle of building up the idea or getting more the financial resources which are required. Again, we are not going too much into the entrepreneurial world. Here I'm talking of our own little world and the small challenges that we face. Like I told you as an example, the switchboard. What is the challenge? Like in my house at this point in time, we are having to have 2 meetings. Me and Pragya in a different room altogether. At one point, we were there in the same room sitting opposite each other and doing the meetings. Experimenting. If it works, doesn't work. There were a lot of challenges, a lot of problems. We decided to do the meetings in different rooms. Trials. Now, if I am by any chance facing a bandwidth challenge, the video of one person is off while the other one is speaking. So there are a lot of iterations, experimenting. Today, if you're able to smoothly run this meeting after 20 meetings, it's because we have survived through these 20 meetings with a lot of challenges, with a lot of learnings. So the problem is we are not willing to learn. Why a lot of these startups fail is because they come up with that one brilliant idea. They come up with that one brilliant idea and they don't know what to do next. Because as I told you at the initial time, instant one-time solution is not the need. They will come, they will solve a lot of problems. But the problem is once you have solved certain thing, if you don't know what to do next or how to get to the next step, someone else will copy your idea and then go ahead. Like WhatsApp, we had WeChat, we had so many apps which were there, which are offering a similar feature as WhatsApp. But look at what happened to them. Now, giving you a classic example. We are chatting right now on Zoom. There's something called as Geo Meet, which is free and exactly a copycat of what we are doing. But still, why are we not going to that when it's free? Why am I paying for the Zoom account? Copying a certain user interface and a software is simpler and easier than copying the nitty-gritties of development. You look at a lot of things which, as an example, I don't have anything against any company, but looking at the examples of how Geo is working on different apps, the way it is just copying the user interface doesn't solve the problem. Because you have to upscale from here. They have come here, they have not come here just as a one-time idea. If they would have come, they would have not have survived till late. They have survived because they have eventually evolved on every little problem that they face, and they've solved the glitches. They've solved the little problems which have come, and they've eventually come here. But if you stop here, whatever level you are in, even if Zoom today stops upgrading or learning and developing its own software to make it more comfortable, it will also not survive for a long time. It came here, good, but it will go down if it doesn't evolve further ahead. So the answer to you, Khushi, is persistence, and constant innovation. That's the need of the hour. That's how I believe everyone can sustain in the long run. Now, coming back to the last thing, we have to have a bias towards action, and that's what will have a solution to us. All our problems, we often think of the permutation combinations of what is possible, how to work about it, and what to do, and all those things in our mind. We are not working on that in the ground level, because once you come to the ground level, you will be getting your hands dirty in 10 different options, and then you will find a solution. But you won't find a solution without playing around those 10 things. You have to act. That is the answer to getting solutions. Solution seekers are okay with failures of a few attempts, but they're not okay with sitting on the problem. They will constantly be hustling here and there of what to be done, what can be done, how it can be done, what more problem, what's the next problem, where is the inconvenience. That's what they'll be constantly questioning themselves and the environment that is around them. And that is where they find the answers. That is where they find the opportunities to grow to the next level. I hope that answers your question. And I hope with this session, with the ideas that I've shared, you are able to get a few insights on where you need to change. Because I believe each one of us is blessed with problems. We need to understand what we need to change to make those problems an opportunity and make that opportunity a stepping stone to our next level. Because when you act 20 years later, someone will talk about, see, someone had a problem. That someone was you. And you worked upon the solution and you brought and made the world a little better. Could be radical, could be revolutionary, or could be evolutionary. Whatever be it, you were not sitting on the problem, but you were acting on how to get a solution. And you can be that by becoming a solution seeker. That's what the idea of the program today was. Hopefully it added value to you. Pragya, you would like to add something? Yeah, Rabia, go ahead.
Just a small idea.
Oh, 1 second, Pragya. Rabia, go ahead.
Yeah.
You're on mute, Rabia.
Yeah, I would like
Anyone
to say
else, any other questions that you have?
Yeah, just I would like to ask one question. Like what you say, everything I agree completely with you. The thing is that when we face a problem, even everybody is blessed with problems, as what you say is very much apt. The thing is that when we face a problem, then after many years of experience, you can say, and we go ahead in our life step by step, and then we recall, recollect, and then we try to analyze, introspect, and then after we come to conclusion that yeah, problems are a part of life and we have to take it as what is come to our plate, like we have to accept it. And when we reach to a place, or you can call it to be a situation in our life where we reach, where we feel that we turn out to be like a stoic, you can say, indifferent towards pleasure and pain. Stoic, like indifferent towards pleasure and pain.
Okay.
Just take things as it comes. Do not react to it as wholeheartedly, because a saturation point comes, you can say, where you feel like, oh, let it happen. But when you started feeling like that, and as you say, problem comes and it goes, and just one day you will realize that, okay, I was the one who had the problem, but now I'm out of it. But what to do with the people around us kept on pulling your leg and shaking you up and saying that, see, you are in a problem. What are you going to do with it? How will it be? Then when they just make our mind in such a way, then whatever energy levels we have gone up with, it comes little down. So how are we going to again build ourselves, I can say? Can you tell me one?
Yeah, go ahead,
like
Pragya.
to answer this question.
You are better off in that.
Yeah, more experienced in handling these problems of people telling, and you know.
Don't get her wrong. I'm not the problem, okay? Just to confirm that. Go ahead, Pragya.
Yeah. So Ravi, the first thing actually, which I did, I can just tell you with my example with that. The first thing when the situation comes up, when people are telling you that you have a problem or you need to do some solution, keep two answers ready. First is, just shut up. I know what I have to do. And secondly, just shut your ear. You know, these two simple things make so much of difference with any problem that you're facing. Because the people who are standing there and telling you that you have a problem, they themselves don't know the solution to it. You can just directly ask them, you feel I have a problem? Okay, do you have a solution to it? If no, then please do not tell me the problem. Right, this is the answer that you need to, I won't say bluntly give to people, as in the same words, but you understand the, the theme of it. Yes, silently. And
I'll just like to add. Okay, go ahead, Pragya.
Yeah, and secondly, you first yourself have to accept that the problems that you are facing is something which is personal to you. By personal, I don't mean being a personal problem, but it is something which only you as an individual would be facing, solving, or finding a solution to. So what others say about that particular problem, if that is something which keeps affecting you, you will never be able to find a solution to it. Right? Most of the people around us, they are more problem creators than problem solvers for us. Right? So the first thing you have to do is shut that thing up in, that, okay, fine, I have a problem, I know that, and I have to find a solution rather than thinking of what others think of me. When I faced this problem, I was feeling I was fat. People were saying you have put on weight, and there were so many things which, I actually started feeling it as a very big problem. I was going low, I was getting depressed, and I thought, no, it's not solvable, it's impossible to do it. Finally, I just told them, see, whatever I am, I am. I know that I have a problem and I have to find a solution. Can you make me thin? Can you go to gym for me? Can you lose my weight? No. Then let me do it my way. I have my own ideas. I have my own thought process. I will do it my way. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, just adding something over here. Rabia, the point that you said, being in this situation where you are constantly in solving problems or in a problem and eventually finding a solution in all those things. Understand one thing, not everyone's life is there to be pleasurable or enjoyable. There are lives which take the scar, which take the pain. But remember, those are the ones which make a difference to the world. Eventually, you would become indifferent only if you look at those problems as something that is affecting you. Once you change the anchor of focus there from you being sourced or being impacted by the problem to you being the solution created who's making the world better, this change in thought process is what will make your life meaningful. Eventually, once all these things, all these battles are done where you have given solutions, you have made the world a little better, you would have realized that this pain and all the trauma that you were going through as a result of these problems was all worth it for this one moment when the world recognized that the solutions that you have brought to the fore with all the pain that you've gone through is something which is indomitable. That's where the power of someone who's working on the real life problems, real life solutions has to bear the brunt of experiencing these things. Today, if I'm doing these sessions, me and Pragya, if you're doing these sessions, we are live every Saturday. Do you think we don't have challenges? But we are experiencing this one moment where at least one person is getting a solution to something with the ideas that we are sharing. That makes it all worth it. That makes it all worth it. The scars will be there. The battles that you have fought will be there. The challenges that you have thrown, we have grown from these. And at the end, what will matter not now. 1 year later or 20 years later, you will be talking about lockdown, 2020 year. You will be talking of the trauma that you went through, and you will be talking of this 1 hour every Saturday. Even if one person is talking about this 1 hour every Saturday, and you would have had something from it, I think it will all be worth it. That's what I would say. Need not be that every journey is pleasurable like we want it to be. The end for sure will be pleasurable. That's what I would say. So all in all, I think we are running late on time. Yeah, go ahead.
Just one point, Rahul, which I would like to add. Very small point. Just remember, when you are faced with any problem, when you were kids, you had a problem, you didn't know how to sharpen a pencil. But you learned it, you solved that issue, right? You grew up, you did not know how to drive. You learned it, you solved it. So every problem, if you just keep persistently trying it, trying to learn how to you can solve that particular problem. It will get a solution. There's no problem without a solution, right?
And another
Yeah.
thing, one suggestion: you should not give
Go
your
ahead.
emotions remote control to others. So
Indeed,
Yeah,
always.
and when just remember, when you are in the railway station, you should focus on your destination, your train, not a surrounding. You know, you just feel I have to catch this train, and not look at people. You know what they are doing. You know, so you just focus on your goal.
The best example for this would be someone who stays in Mumbai and catches a local. I believe they are the experts at this example with regard to they knowing where they want to fit in that busy local and reach the destination that they want to. Go ahead, Rabia.
Actually, what happens with me is that sharing is caring. That thing I take it too personally, and I just keep on sharing, and that leads me to all the problems. In fact, so it's silence is golden, as what I remember now, and keep my mouth shut is better,
Indeed.
as what Pragya just.
Abhya, we are here to share your bank account. Will you?
Pardon?
We are here to share.
Please share your bank account details.
Will you?
Yeah, that I'll get back to you personally, surely.
Remember when you would not
I
share
know
that, there are
now.
other things also.
Now Rabia would have said, "I learned a lesson from Pragya. Keep my ears shut." Okay, I think we are a little running late on time. I've just shared for the ones who are coming for the first time. Pragya has shared a Linktree link which has a handle, social media links to all the social media handles. If you're new, please open that and you can follow us on our social media handles. I've shared a link for the feedback for the session. Would be really nice if you all can share your feedback and how you experience or how you like this session on that link. It will be really helpful for us. So you can take a minute to share the feedback on that link.
Yeah.
If someone would just like to, while they're writing or if you have shared it, you can just share a video testimonial of how you liked the session or what was your feedback for it.
Where am I supposed to post? I mean, Rahul, I'm not getting it. Where did you?
I'm resending a link on Zoom chat. I've sent it again now. If you can just check that.
Yeah. Okay. No, it just came for a minute and went off.
It's there now. It's there in the Zoom chat.
Okay.
There's a link.
Zoom chat.
Why you are not sending that link on WhatsApp?
WhatsApp, if you want, I can send it there. I think because the challenge is that there are 200 people in that WhatsApp group and there are only 12 to 15 people who have attended the workshop. A general a feedback for the session would be ideal by giving from the people who have attended the session rather than for everyone. That's the reason. Bikash, Hasanuddin, Roshan, any feedback from you on the session?
I will check it.
It was a very good session, Rahul. The design thinking session, even I have attended one such session in my office. So even though I have attended, but here I got some different perspective of design thinking, and it was really good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Bikash. Yes, Shreya. Did you like the session or was it like a bouncer for a school student?
It was an amazing session, sir. Would love to join the next session.
Okay. Uma ma'am, any feedback for the session?
The feedback already, sir.
Okay.
I just want to add that sometimes when we face challenges in life or problems, universe also gives us a solution by throwing some light. Like sometimes you are in the dark, you don't know whether light will come at all. And suddenly, when you have the connection with the universe and
Your voice is breaking, Uma.
you surrender to the universe, saying that when you enter, definitely light is thrown. And I have observed it in my life at least 2-3 times. I have had the experience. So when you surrender completely to it definitely
Uma, ma'am, I think your network
when
challenge is there.
you
Can you switch off your video and share your
problem
feedback?
and help me. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
So is it okay now?
Yeah, better now.
So many times I have faced some problems in life, and I have noticed that some solution comes and a light is thrown, and you really feel so nice, and the path just clears, and you the final goal, and you don't know how you reach that. And some invisible hand shows you the way. So sometimes universe definitely shows you the way. I have experienced it, and a complete surrendered universe will show you the way. That is what I can tell you ultimately. And when
Wonderful.
you write the different ways of solving a problem, you will definitely get a solution. You should not give up in the beginning itself. Just think of all the ways how you can solve a problem. And there's something called Kaizen. I have just heard about it. So you can just sort it out straight and find out the different ways how you can solve the problem in a logical way. And definitely some solution you will definitely get. Like just like every problem has a solution. So you need not worry at all. And above all, the universe, when you connect, the universe will definitely help you. That is what I want to
Wonderful.
give the message.
Thank you, Uma, ma'am. That was a different perspective that we got in. Thanks for that perspective. Akansha, Khushi, Hasanuddin.
Yeah, it was a wonderful.
Yeah, go ahead, Khushi. Go ahead, Khushi.
Yeah, like it was a wonderful session. Like I am this session was very interesting because I'm interested into entrepreneurship and everything. So like in college we get projects and assignments as to come up with a new idea or a product or a service as a whole. And last week only we had that, and today again attending the session gave me a lot of new insights, and it really helped me. So thank you.
Wonderful, Khushi. I must say, the confidence and the clarity with which you're speaking now, I'm happy for the way you have evolved in the last 2-3 months in the confidence and the conviction with which you're speaking. Proud of that development that we're seeing now.
Thank you, sir.
Akansha.
It was a really wonderful session, sir. Thought it was an inspiration series. I was like, it may be boring or not for my age, but surprisingly, it was really interactive, and I loved it.
Now I'm starting to wonder about the last 6 inspiration series that I've done. That's okay. That's okay. Hasanuddin, any feedback from you? You are coming here for the first time. Hasanuddin, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, just for everyone else's input, Hasanuddin is one of the students of Lord's Institute and Engineering College. He attended this workshop that we did for the college a few days back. And despite he attending that workshop, he's here back with us for the same kind of a session, a different perspective. That was purely for entrepreneurship. This was in general for mix of personal and professional development. Go ahead, Hasanuddin.
Thank you for introducing me as a student, sir, but I am not a student. I am a parent of a student of Lords.
Okay.
Okay. This is
Go ahead, sir. How did you like the session today?
Yeah, definitely good, sir. It is more, it is giving, each time I am hearing you giving me more insight and depth of understanding your bottom line ideas about life skills and, problem solving and looking the problems as an opportunity. And finally, as you said, problems achhe hai in life. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for remembering that. Thank you. Thanks a lot for that feedback, sir. So with that, I think we are good to close the session for today. Hopefully, let's see what we have in store for next Saturday again. We'll get back to you with a update sometime very soon. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure for another Saturday night. 20 Saturday nights up until now, and we are loving it. Thank you, each one of you all, for coming back every time.
Thank you.
Thanks for making it. Thank you.
Good night. Have a nice weekend.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye. Have a good
night.
weekend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. everyone.
Good night, Akansha.
Good night, sir.
Sleep now. You have to disconnect. You have to press the button, leave meeting. Good night, Rabia.
Good night. Bye bye.